Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another broadcast here for Fast Break, live for iSports Radio, your drink for always sports. Locke, I think it's going to be like a one-subject show. Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker. It is official as this afternoon. Anthony Davis is a Dallas Maverick, along with others. We'll dive into all of it. We'll dive into what transpired with this deal, why this deal was made, who benefits the most, why the GMs of both teams did these deals, all the good, all the juicy stuff, all that. D-Lock, anything you got to add on this mega deal?
Man, right now I'm still trying to debate which jersey I want to get first. Do I want to get that gold Luka jersey, Lakers jersey, or that white, or that purple Lakers Luka jersey? So this is going to be a very interesting trade we talk about. And the trade deadline is almost coming up, so there's going to be more things that happen in the next couple of days. Not just with these two teams, but we got a lot left coming up.
So yeah, we'll discuss that. Who else gets moved in the NBA? Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox, Randy Ingram. We'll discuss all that here on the show tonight. So do tune in tonight. We're going to do these few commercial messages, but this is Fast Break here live for iSports Radio. Big subject tonight. Hope y'all tune in with us. We'll catch y'all on the other side.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. iSports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back here to Fast Break here live on IE Sports Radio. Your direct for all is sports. And thank you for joining us tonight. And I think tonight, D-Locke, we kind of talked about late last night. This is going to be like a one subject show that this about, because it's just like so many layers to this.
Yes.
The initial trade, the ramifications, why they happen, all of this stuff. It's just like too many layers. Like, okay, I would love to talk about Duke, North Carolina. I like to talk about Cal going back to Lexington and beating Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to. I like to talk about the Cavs beating down the Mavs today. LeBron's triple-double in the Garden. But this took over everything. Took over everything. But before we get rolling, and I'll probably talk about, supplements and weight, all this stuff, all throughout this broadcast tonight. Our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to getrawnutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR for 10% off. Luka Doncic probably need to look into that if the allegations are true. But check out the new sponsor, getrawnutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR for 10% off. New year, new you. Get fit, get ready, and get that summer ball working on, okay? So new sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to the website right there, right? GetRawNutrition.com. Promo code IESR for 10% off. Everybody loves discounts.
Right at the bottom.
And follow us there on Twitter /X, FastBreak at IESR. That's FastBreak IESR. We've been doing videos talking about our analysis, all that stuff. And now we're about to give our formal opinions of everything that has happened the last about 15 hours or so. The Bob Blusher trade that happened late last night. Let me add this to the stage. On the screen right here, And this is the main crux of it, ladies and gentlemen. The best photo I can find right there. Excuse the, the screen right there, but working on that. You got Luka Doncic going to the LA Lakers. 25-year-old point forward, one of the best scorers in the league, in the world, possibly. On the other side of things, you got Anthony Davis going from the Lakers to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, others included in this trade is a 3-team deal. The Lakers get Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Am I correct? One of Morris twins. On the other side, Dallas getting Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a Lakers first-round pick. The Utah Jazz, to help facilitate the trade, they get Jalen Hood-Schifino and a couple second-round picks one for LA and one from Dallas in the 2025 draft. That should be pretty good in the second round. Now I think about it. So D-Lock. Blockbuster trade happened late last night. We discussed before we got on the show. This came out, I won't say nowhere. Well, it came out of nowhere because we didn't suspect these two guys to be traded. We've been hearing AD say, I need big man. I need 5-man. I need 5-man. Luka, who's been out for a little while with injury. What's your initial thoughts when this trade happened, when you got the alerts and what you told me and all that stuff before we got on the air? What were your initial thoughts when this trade happened while you were just in all of this? Go ahead, man.
I mean, I think, like I said, we were on the way back from our own track, our own sporting event. When grabbed some, a normal weekend for us. And I just literally was just getting in the house, grabbing something to eat when my guys were calling me a few times. He sends me the big eyes emoji with the rose face, saying Luka to the Lakers. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, he's just joking. This is one of those things that you're just saying. Maybe you want to happen. Maybe you're expecting to happen. Like a dream, shall I say. You know what I mean? Something that you just kind of joke about. Another thing was crazy enough, like literally maybe 10 to 15 minutes before that, the Lakers were playing the Knicks. And they look much better. I mean, just how they just look good. So I jokingly said, one of the guys in my group said, great win. These guys are Laker fans. A great win. What do you think we need? One of my other friends said, man, these guys play different, play much different without AD. I said they played better, right? So I said, he said, played better without AD. And literally before I can respond, this was at 11 o'clock, literally before I can respond, Shams has posted, Lakers get Luka, Max Kleber, Marcus Morris, Anthony Davis to the Mavs, Max Christie, 2029 first round draft pick. So for me, my first initial thought process of this is the Lakers are being the Lakers. They're getting somebody to replace the stars that they get. They're going to have a superstar. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron at some point is going to hang it up. Kobe at some point, rest his soul, is going to hang it up. Magic Johnson at some point had to hang it up. These guys, once somebody leaves, they bring somebody else in. Somebody is going to bring. I think we talked about it before. I was saying at one point, do they rebuild? And the Lakers are not a team that rebuilds. Once their star goes, they bring in somebody else. We numerously thought about, we jokingly talked about Trae Young going to the Lakers.
Yeah.
We hinted to us that maybe, X, Y, and Z. You remember when Giannis was kind of frustrated about leaving? We could have said, could Giannis go to the Lakers? But obviously, I think the biggest thing that we agreed upon that we both thought is even in rebuild mode, or if they were going to make a trade for a superstar, two people we thought were not touchable. LeBron James and one Anthony Davis. You're thinking that these guys are not touchable. You're thinking these guys are the ones that they're going to keep to build with in the future. And actually, Anthony Davis, especially being untouchable because he's younger, 31 years old. So you can have something with him at least for the next 4 or 5 years. Then you bring in a Trae Young or Giannis or whoever, and they're going to take over. So for me, that's the first initial thought is Lakers going to be the Lakers. They're going to grab somebody. It's just the fact that it's Luka.
Yeah.
We're talking about the guy Luka. You know what I mean? So now for me, it was and I initially thought, okay, well, the Mavs traded him. Kyrie. He's been playing his best ball. His off the court issues are not what they were in Boston, possibly in Brooklyn. He's not doing too much of an off the field issue. You know, he's just been quiet, playing his game, being successful, X, Y, and Z. This team, we just seen it in the NBA Finals last year, played great. They're playing extremely well. But one thing that they did have an issue with, needed a big man. They got the guys like a PJ Washington, Dwight Powell, who we know is not too much of a big guy, Derek Lively, who was out for a while, Daniel Gafford. So they had that rotation. They just lost Derek Lively for some time. So going to get a big man is something that I think that they were doing. But to go get Anthony Davis and for it to be the Mavs actually calling for this trade of Luka was a huge head scratcher to me. So, you know, my initial thoughts, and we'll continue talking about it, is who won this trade? I mean, I don't think it's a bad trade on both sides, but who won this trade? And when do we judge this trade? Do we judge it now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Because right now, I mean, in my mind, as great as Anthony Davis is, I mean, you call me and I got Anthony Davis, and you tell me you're going to give me Luka, I'm not asking any questions. I'm going to sign off on the trade ASAP, knowing what Luka is and what he can be. So, for me, you know, you still have some – I feel like some pieces are still going to be moved because I think the Lakers still need a big. Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes. I don't think these guys are going to be the big that they need. They're going to need somebody else. And also now, I mean, you're looking at this depth chart. You still got Austin Reed, Shake Milton, Gabe Vincent, all of these guards ought to connect. You know, what do they keep all these guards along with Luka, knowing what Luka can do? So me, I don't think the Lakers are done. I think that they may possibly make another move. It's just about where. I jokingly said, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. LeBron says he intends to stay in LA. I put the Austin Powers intends because at this point, who knows, right? Obviously, LeBron is who he is, but we also thought the same about Anthony Davis, that they're not going to be moved. So, but again, like I said, this. If I'm a Lakers fan, as you are, I am super excited about this, not only for now, but for the future moving forward, because that's Luka. And now you have that person that you could build around in the future.
Let's see. I just got done seeing you something, and boy, we'll talk about Nico Harrison here later on the show. Man, my first initial reaction when I told you before we got live on the show, man, you know, I was at my dad's house, parents' house, excuse me, because I was at my mom watched the show. Like, hey, your dad. Okay. Meanwhile, me and my dad, we tend to watch the Royal Rumble, right? Watch that, decent show, all that good stuff. Turn it to the Lakers Knicks game, and then, you know, got to that second half point. Like, LeBron was sitting there just yamming on folks, two hands and stuff like that, playing good ball. You know, Gabe Vincent hitting good shots and all that stuff. But damn, y'all playing pretty damn well. You know, being tough, playing, you know, great ball. You know, Max Christie playing one of his better games this season. And all that good stuff. A lot of foreshadowing right there. But anyways, and they won the game. You know, Josh Hart, you know, played great for the Knicks, had triple-double for the New York. You know, OG Onwabanye for the Knicks went out. You know, all that stuff. So skip all that. Lakers won the game. LeBron talking to Lisa Salter saying, hey, once we get AD back, you know, skip whoop-de-woo. I think we'll all be looking good. Man, I say my goodbyes to my dad. I get back to the house, relaxing. Little girl sick for a little bit, you know. I come in, I'm in this chair, just chilling, relaxing. I look up, I look at my phone, man. I was like, that can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Doncic. Look, I'm looking at this camera. Look at Doncic traded to the Lakers. I said, damn. Rob Pelinka finally got off those first round picks and got AD LeBron some help. He traded away Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Davidson. He probably give a Don, Kenneth or Christie, first round picks. Made a big old move for Luka, big three, all that stuff. No, that's not what happened. No, that's not what happened. AD's gone. Max Christie gone, which I know Max Christie has played decent this year, but I'm sorry. And I've been on record on this show before for years. He ain't done jack shit. I'm sorry. In the contract extension, you know, I hate that deal. You know, salute to him. I hope he does well in Dallas, but that's a kid. That's one of those kids that shouldn't have stayed in school. My humble opinion. But anyways, they traded AD, man. They traded Anthony Davis, D-Locke. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn. I tried calling my dad. I was like, damn, he probably asleep. He didn't pick up. So I was like, damn. Did an immediate video right here. About close to 2 minutes. I was trying to figure out the right words to come out of my mouth. Struggled for a little bit, but I got the words out. And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. That the Lakers got a young player in the prime of his career like this. And a lot of y'all people saying, like, well, the Lakers are doing this and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but as we see in the later years, a lot of these teams out there kind of quote unquote cop block the Lakers for making these type of moves. We saw with the Chris Paul deal years ago. You know, we seen other deals down the line, stuff like that. You know, the high asking price, you know, as we seen, like asking for like Kawhi Leonard. You gotta give all these first round picks, blah, 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 blah. You know, DeMar DeRozan, you gotta get all these all picks. Miles Turner, Buddy Hield. You gotta get all these first round picks and blah, 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 blah. We talked about on the show, you know, doing the podcast for him. We talked about there. And I give credit to Rob Pelinka and stuff like that. Like, hey, you know, don't mortgage the future if you don't have to. And now, with what we've been hearing for the past 15 hours, you know, with Nico Harrison, he seemed like this is like the only team the only other team that he contacted about trading away Luka. Who the other team is, we'll probably find out here down the line. You know, it's hard to guess who, but the other team, the Lakers, and the other team, whoever that may be, and if you're the Lakers, like, okay. If you're the Lakers, like you said, okay, I get this young guy here, one of the best scorers. I got to give up my big man, little injury prone, but been playing very well for us. this going to outweigh this. This is going to outweigh this. And I'm so stunned. I couldn't believe it. I think kudos for Rob Pelinka, kind of like, they were serious about trading Luka, and the brain trust in the Lakers between Rob, Jenny, and the Rambuses for some odd reason. JJ, who was in that meeting, said, hey, do we want to do this?
Yeah.
Like right now, we're sitting 5th in the West. Can this dude kind of take us over the top? Not just this for this year, but down the line. LeBron's at 40 years old. We got also think about the future also. And for them to make this deal, I say kudos to them. I couldn't believe it. I think the Lakers get more of the buzz because you really can't believe the Mavs would do this. Because you don't give up franchise players like this. I'm not saying give them up because you're getting all NBA caliber player as well in Anthony Davis.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you got a young kid like this, you really don't let him go just like that. Like the Thunder, they're not going to let go SGA. The Spurs ain't going to let go of Victor Wembanyama. The Timberwolves are not going to let go of Anthony Edwards. Up in Boston, they don't get rid of Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown, different story. Tatum, no, they're going to keep him.
Oh, my God. Oof.
So, I think, it's just great. As a Laker fan, it's great for me. I say, damn. Sometimes you worry about the future and stuff like that. It's like, well, okay. Oh.
That's why I said that.
Oh. Damn.
That's why I said that. Well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, the news. That's why when we go live, like live, like shit like this, we go live. Oh, the chat is lighting up. Oh, the chat is lighting up. Oh, in Arizona.
Well,
yeah, we just we trying to get to Luka and AD. Now we got De'Aaron Fox, Zach LaVine. Oh, damn.
You love this for the sport in the show, but dang.
Like, look. Like, if some of y'all can look at these banners I created about 2 hours ago, there's like a whole list like of Luka, Lakers, AD, all that stuff. Like, now we got De'Aaron Fox getting traded. All right. All right, let's get through this first. Let's focus on one trade at a time. Let's get through this, and then we'll dissect what's going on with on the other side of things with De'Aaron Fox and all that stuff. So let's get through this first and finish this off first. D-Locke.
Ooh.
How do you see Luka fitting with the Lakers? You're talking about a 0.4 similar to LeBron. In a sense, the guy had the ball in the hands to do a lot of stuff. How do you see him fitting with LeBron and company? Because also Reed's got to have the ball too, in a sense. But I think he'd be good as a spot-up shooter. How do you foresee him fitting with the Lakers?
I mean, I think that Luka is Luka, right? I think you can fit him damn near any system. I mean, he is who he is. He can do a lot for the Lakers. I think that it's not necessarily the question of how he fit the Lakers, but how does him and LeBron coincide? I think that I've seen a lot of fans, a lot of people say, well, Laker fans need to see now that this is them winning to win a championship is possibly this year is probably out the door. They had LeBron and Anthony Davis. This is what they were building with the Dawson Connect, the Austin Reeves. Don't forget they started out with D'Angelo Russell, who was traded as well. So now you're starting to make these trades. Like, are they somewhat kind of starting over a little bit and building for the future? I think Luka can fit in perfectly. I mean, I think that you have that player that can play damn near any position, if you will. I mean, Luka's about 6'7", 6'8". So he can, you can maneuver him. But my thing is now, even with him, you still need to get you another piece added. Another superstar at some point. Now we know LeBron is who he is, but LeBron is not going to be there for 3, 4, 5 years. At this point, I think he's going to be gone. So they're going to start building their team around Luka. But the biggest question is, what pieces are they going to add and put around him? My thing is, I think LeBron and Luka can work. I think we see the best of this duo next year. I think that he fits perfect for them, but I think that they still need a rim protector. And there's numerous names I think that we can see. I did see earlier. We'll see if he does get traded, but I think Clint Capella didn't play today. He was ruled out. So that's another person that keep your eyes on. Another person that's been out for a while, I believe, was Brook Lopez, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of these guys that you can look at, because I think that's the next move for the Lakers is going to get it big. Another one that we talked about before, now that the Magic have Wendell Carter and Goga, these are the guys that you can kind of look at as a possible trade option as well. Another person I keep talking about, Jonathan Isaac. So for me, I think Luka fits in perfect for what the Lakers can do and will do in the future. But now, just like they've done with a lot of their superstars in the past, they build around their superstars. Remember when Kobe had Shaq and Shaq left, Paul Gasol. They had other numerous guys around Kobe. Now, obviously, Kobe was who he was, made the shots he needed, got the points he needed, but he had that core around him that can do their job if they need it. Now you move on and you have LeBron there. Okay, LeBron was there for a year, and what happened? They went and got Anthony Davis. So, again, like I said, I am almost 100% positive that the Lakers are not done. And now we're starting to see these other moves. These other teams are making moves to be better in the future. On the West, too, the Lakers are going to have to start making some big moves as well. So at this point, we're seeing these different trades, these different things going on. I would totally not be shocked at any trade that is going down now. And we talked so much about who we thought were off the market players to be traded. We see Anthony Davis get traded. Now we're seeing different moves, and we just said who else is going to be traded, and it's happening as we speak. So I don't think the Lakers are done, but I think starting off going to grab a Luka, that is a hell of a way to start off, the trade and to build your team around somebody like a Luka.
Yeah, we're still trying to get the details of that. The Aaron Fox, Zach LaVine trade. It was a 3-team deal between the Spurs, Kings, and Bulls. We'll wait to see how everything shakes out. But okay, so looking at Chris Haynes, this is what I got right here. Well, off Chris Haynes, I don't have time to put the graphic up at me like that, but the sources are Spurs are sending Trey Jones and Zach Collins to Chicago. That's big man Zach Collins. The Kings are sending Kevin Huerter to Chicago. That's swingman forward, guard forward. Used to play for Maryland. And Jordan McLaughlin is going to San Antonio with Fox. So the Kings, they trained Fox to the Spurs. That lands LaVine in Sacramento, along with 3 first-round picks. That's according to Chris Haynes. We'll get the full flesh out trade here in a little bit. But D-Lock, I guess we'll go ahead and do it. Take it back. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Come back on the other side. Kind of give our initial reactions of the De'Aaron Fox trade to San Antonio. We'll kind of pick up on Luka and Lakers and AD going to the Mavericks and how that fits with them. So we'll dive in on to that after this break. But this is Fast Break here live for IE Sports Radio. Your Dream for Always Sports. The trade deadline is heating up really, really quick. So we'll catch you on the other side of this break, okay?
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too woo!
And we're back here live for Fast Break here live for IE Sports Radio, your Dream for Always Sports. And initially, we're like, once the show, like you see the headline, Luka and AD are traded. We talk about like all the ramifications, all this stuff, the layers and stuff like that to it. Now, live on air, and shout out to the chat. Shout out to you. You sent me the message. Hey, we're going live right on time. The trades are happening. The moves are happening. A lot of people are fearing like the tax aprons and stuff like that. That tier, that second tier, all that stuff, kind of stop moves and all that stuff. Well, now, the moves are happening. And I can't say the Luka and AD deal was kind of like the first domino because nobody kind of seen that coming.
Nah.
Like nobody seen that coming.
Nope.
Now the moves are being made, D-Lock. Let me get this up real quick.
My thing is, while you typing that up, the So so basically, the Kings want Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan.
They back together again.
Yes. Malik Monk has been playing outstanding, so I kind of can see the De'Aaron Fox move. But damn, like, where are you going with this? I got to pull up these rankings, man.
And shout out to Ralph. Shout out to Ralph. He does our Pittsburgh show. Does a great job with that. Yeah, Ralph, you're right. This is like the Chiefs landing in New Orleans from what I saw earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
This is like Super Bowl week.
Yes.
Like this is like you talking about Super Bowl week. We talking about everybody going down there for New Orleans. Chiefs, Eagles. This is their time. Pat Mahomes going for the 3-peat. Travis Kelce is this his last ride potentially. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Saquon. Hell of a season. But no, we talking De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. We talking Zach LaVine to Sacramento. We talking right here, Luka to the Lakers, Eddie D to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes' favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. Mind you. You weren't happy about that. But D-Lock, this trade right here that just got announced, I first saw it from Chris Haynes. De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs, Zach LaVine to the Kings. I kind of discussed the other parts of the trade. Kevin Huerter going to the Bulls. Zach Collins. Trey Jones going to the Bulls. Josh McLaughlin going with De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
As well. Multiple picks are involved in the trade as well. Your initial thoughts on this trade?
Like I said, my first thought was Zach LaVine back with DeMar DeRozan. What? Not right now. They're ranked 10th in the Western Conference. They're trying to make that move. For which, now you're probably going to bump Malik Monk up to that point guard position, move Zach LaVine to that the two position. Not a bad put together, but this kind of gives me the vibe of them having. Only difference is instead of having Vooch down there, they got Sabonis. So where does it go for Sacramento? Can they make that move? And also the Spurs. Listen, I think that this is a hell of a move by the Spurs. You had Chris Paul as your starting point guard, the lead Victor. Now you bring in somebody younger as well that can grow with Victor. De'Aaron Fox is what, 20? Was he 27?
He's been in the league for years.
Yeah.
But
he's 27.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of New Orleans, he's actually from New Orleans. So you go get you a guy that can give you, I think he's averaging, looking like 25 points a game, six assists. That's definitely going to go up. Rebounds more likely going down, but that is a hell of a piece for the Spurs moving forward. Right now they are 12th at the bottom of the conference, 21-25. But when you make this move, now you got a nice pair that you can move. You can go down the stretch and make a hell of a move. Looking at it, the Suns are 25 and 23. So you're looking at the Spurs being 3 or 4 games out, being in that 8th spot, being in the top 10. They're 2 or 3 games out. So I'm not mad at that. I think that obviously that pick, that trade is going to have them have a future. And that's what the good teams do. We talk about the Spurs, but they are another team that do what the Lakers do. They're going to have a superstar, and they're going to build around that superstar. That happens multiple times with these organizations. We talked about it multiple times with different organizations. The big organizations, they get a player, a star, and they build around them. when that said player, starts to retire or moves on or about to, they bring in another star player, whether through trade or through draft. It always happens. And this is in all sports. A lot of teams that do it, we talk about. Los Angeles Lakers, San Antonio Spurs, the New York Yankees. These teams always do that. The team that we know that continuously do it, but they have ownership issues, is the Dallas Cowboys. They get their guy and they move forward. Now they have a ownership issue who wants to run the show. Cool. I think that is what's hurting them. But these top teams, the New York Knicks, same thing. So these teams get their players and they build around them. Boston Celtics. So when you have these known franchises that jerseys are going to sell, but now you put a Luka in a Lakers uniform, that's just going to sell like crazy. Everybody's going to get that. So when you make these moves, I think that it pays off for the sport, and the views are going to go up.
Yeah.
So now, we're talking about De'Aaron Fox, who's a hell of a player. Now you put him in a Spurs uniform with Popovich. Come on now, that's just going to do numbers regardless. So for me, the teams that, again, that have a expectation of winning, they're moving as such.
Yep.
And they get a player before it's time to fully rebuild. We talk about rebuild mode, but we haven't seen these teams get in that mode where, okay, well, we're just going to start completely over, unless you see a player like a Victor in the draft who's making an impact. You're willing to tank for this type of player because we know he's generational. This doesn't happen often. Now you get that generational player like a Victor, like a Luka. Now you build around them. So I'm liking, like I said, what these teams are doing. But again, I at this point, like I said, and that's crazy because I said it before this. I said I'm not going to be surprised by any trade that's happening. Then boom, De'Aaron Fox gets traded. So I don't know if it's going to happen before the show ends, but there is going to be another blockbuster trade. Expect it. It's going to happen at some point. I personally feel like the Lakers are not done. I mean, like right now, I mean, you go get your Luka. Again, LeBron is going to retire at some point. They're going to put a piece around him, whether it's the next couple of days or whether it's free agency. The Lakers are going to get somebody else. So again, these trades are happening, and these franchises that have the high expectation of winning are taking these big risks to get the players that they need to make their franchise continue to win.
I'll say this. If you're a player out there and some of these players tweeted last night, CJ McCollum, Tyler Hero, Joel Embiid, y'all could be moved too. And as you outlined this now, if AD getting traded for Luka, then damn it, some of y'all will get moved.
Oh yeah.
And right now, sometime here soon, in the next couple days or so, or hell, by the time when the show's over, Jimmy Butler might be getting dealt here soon.
Oh yes, I forgot about him. He's definitely about to get packed up.
So he's on deck. Where to? I don't know. But always Arizona. Yeah, all these dudes getting dealt before Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler been doing wild shit since the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse my language, but he been going off the cuff all year, and all these dudes get traded. Now, I say that, and we kind of dive into Luka and all that stuff, and things going on there. But my first initial reaction to this, Rich Paul told the Kings, said, "Hey, you better make a move here soon. He ain't gonna be here. And Sacramento, they acquiesced. They sent him to the Spurs like he wanted. Zach LaVine, who's kind of been the rumor for going to the Kings, he's gone to the Kings. You know, the Bulls, they got some nice players in return. They got some nice return. You know, Zach Collins, he'll get some playing time down low. And I kind of like that for them because now you can push Patrick Williams to the 3 position. Like with Zach LaVine gone, you can push him up a little bit. And he get him back in position, all that good stuff. But with Zach LaVine going to Sacramento, that's like him and DeRozan again. You got Murray there, Sabonis. The only thing is like that point guard spot.
Yep.
The whole lot De'Aaron Fox is gonna be like I don't say left in the hole, but I'm looking here. Let's see. Let's go back. Try to look. You know, I don't know who. I mean, who take over that? I mean, Keon Ellis.
That's exactly it.
Malik Monk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Devin Carter. I mean, I know you spent the first round pick on him, but I mean, he's been quiet. So it's just like, if you're Sacramento, and like you said, you went through the standings and stuff like that. You know, Sacramento right now, they're number 10 in the West.
Yeah.
Well, kind of tied with Golden State, but they're number 10 in the West. And right behind them is San Antonio.
3 games.
So now you kind of give a team that you're trying to keep out of the playoff race, you gave him your star point guard. And now they might come and lap y'all. It depends. They might come and lap y'all. Let me ask you this. Were you surprised that Chris Paul was not included in that deal?
I am. But again, I think another reason why I'm not, I am surprised. Also, I'm kind of not, is because, again, this is the trade deadline. The trade deadline is coming up. This is the same thing we talked about with Luka or Austin Reeves being in LA. I honestly don't. It's going to be very hard for me to see Austin Reeves stays in LA past the trade deadline, especially if Luka is ready to go. I see Austin Reeves being a part of another package deal. So I say that to this Chris Paul situation, or Chris Paul being in San Antonio, obviously he has the leadership mindset. He can be that. But him and De'Aaron Fox together with Devin, like I'm looking at a possible starting lineup: Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, and Victor. I don't see that. It's 4 guards. So somebody has to be moved. I think De'Aaron Fox is going to take over that, but possibly maybe the Kings didn't want anything to do with Chris Paul. And maybe Chris Paul is going to be part of another trade. Now, the question is also, what else would the Spurs be looking for? I mean, you got your star guard. You got your center.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got Kendall Johnson. Trey Jones is still there.
Yeah.
So Harrison Barnes, so I would say
Trey Jones got traded to the Bulls.
Yeah, he got traded. I'm sorry, he got traded. But you still got Castle, you got Devin Vassell, Chris Paul, you got De'Aaron Fox now. I think the weak side of this is maybe that small forward position. So maybe do they look for another small forward? Do you move Devin Vassell up? Maybe bringing Castle off the bench. Who knows? But I think that it is kind of surprising. But now I have the mindset of, well, damn, like if Chris Paul wasn't traded, with this deal, does he get put in another deal? Possibly being to where we're getting Chris Paul off the books and we're moving him somewhere else. So kind of surprising because, like I said, now they're loaded with guards. Chris Paul can't take it. We know who the ball handler is going to be now.
Do you move to the second string? A lot of young guys.
You can, and that's my, like I said, with him and Devin Vassell, you got Sochan and Kendall Johnson. You got these guys, but Stephen Castle can go out there and do something. You still got Malachi Branham as well. Like, where does that work for Chris Paul? Can he be the person that, you know what I'm saying, like, that come off the bench with that second unit? So again, I think that we're gonna have another podcast in a week, and I'm very interested to see if Chris Paul is still there.
Or hey, depending if the schedules align, might do a trade deadline special. We'll see. But to finish up the Kings trade and the Spurs trade and the Bulls trade, the Kings get Zach LaVine, City Sissoko, 3 first-round picks to 2025 from Charlotte, 2027 from San Antonio, and 2031 from Minnesota. 3 second-round picks, and they get their 2028 on back. The Bulls in the draft compensation, they get their own 2025 first-round pick back. So, not bad haul. The Kings, they get multiple first-round picks in the deal. They get Zach LaVine as well. We'll see how that shakes out for them. The Bulls, I will say this. The Bulls come out pretty big in this, and how long we've been doing show for years. How long I've been saying for the Bulls to kind of, tear it down and quit being in the mid? A very long time.
Right.
If y'all new to the show, I've been on the record saying this. Hey, what's the point being 9th, 10th in the East every year, and you're not doing, and you pay all this big salary, and you're not doing nothing? You're paying for Zach LaVine, paying for Vooch. You get all these mid deals to everybody else. It gave Patrick Williams a big time extension, which I'm still kind of questioning there. But you still hang around in the playing part of the standings. I've been on this horse for years. Oh, Lonzo. Him too. What all that salary? What you got to show for it? If you talk about, hey, you brought early about bad orders, good organization, stuff like that. Those Chicago sports teams, they're something else. But anyways, all those bad deals, D-Locke, and you hang around 9th, 10th in the East. For what? I think for the Bulls, I think this is kind of good to kind of start shedding some salary. And now, if you can trade Vooch, who's been on the Warriors' radar, excuse me, get that deal moving, shed some more salary, I think you looking on the up. If the Lakers still interested in Lonzo, maybe work out something there. I think for the Bulls, I think it's your perfect opportunity to kind of shed salary, go with the young guys, and trying to at least, because right now you're 10th right now in the standings, and could you lose enough to get a good draft pick? I don't know, but it's a good sign that you got LaVine off the books, and we'll see in 4 days from now that Vooch is gone as well from this roster. So, man, it's a lot going on right now. A lot going on. But okay, we lost D-Locke there. Hopefully he'll be back on here in a second. But let's kind of recap everything real quick, ladies and gentlemen. as we going live on the show, De'Aaron Fox, Rich Paul told them, hey, make a move. He ain't gonna be here. The AccuWest, they sent him down to San Antonio. Zach LaVine going from the Bulls to Sacramento. Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter are going to Chicago in a 3-team deal that's been reported by Chris Haynes and Shams of ESPN. So a lot of movement going in the NBA right now. You know, to the comments. Let me go to the comments real quick. Shout out to the chat tonight. Y'all are on fire here tonight. And Terry Rodriguez, this comment here. I don't know. It would have been a good fit if they were done that, but it's trading with a division rival. You feel like you got to give a lot, and Fox is still 27 years old. Now you kind of look at what they got from Luka and stuff like that. Luka's 2 years younger and possibly a better scorer than Fox. I think the Lakers maybe get a better deal getting Luka. If you really think about it, if you think about it, I think the Lakers may got a better deal out of it, getting Luka maybe instead of De'Aaron Fox. Because now, if you're looking at it, you still keep your role players because you had to give up a lot of your role players if you get De'Aaron Fox. The only thing person you really gave up in role player wise is Max Christie, and is that the worst thing in the world? Let's be real. Is that the worst thing in the world? You got Dorian Finney-Smith just a month ago. Got Jared Vanderbilt back. Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent. Christian Wood should be coming back here sometime soon. Dalton Kennett. If you had to do a deal with Fox, you probably had to give up Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, or Dalton Kennett, possibly. So I kind of like this deal for the Lakers. Yeah, it sucks giving up AD. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But with Luka, I feel like, especially in today's NBA, in a sense, he could maybe elevate it a little bit better. Especially in those crunch time moments. Luka, LeBron, in the clutch. Who are you going to defend? Austin Reeves plays pretty well in the clutch. You can go small. Finney-Smith in there in the mix. You got another shooter in Dalton Kennett. So I kind of like the deal for Luka a little bit better because I think he's a better scorer, better closer in a sense. Yeah, Fox's athleticism and stuff like that and going downhill will be will fit better. And if the allegations are true about what Nico Harrison and his issues with Luka was about his weight and stuff like that, and you can work on that. And if Luka wasn't motivated to do all that stuff with Harrison, just nudging at him all the time, then he come and do with LA with LeBron, all that. We could be talking about a different, totally different type of player. Totally different type of player. But I see your point though, there as well. So we're gonna take another quick commercial break. Hopefully get D-Lock back on. But on the other side of things, we'll kind of dive back into the Luka AD talk, the after effect, all those trades. Then talk about the other effect trade right here that just dropped while we're doing the show live. But this is Fast Break here live on iSports Radio. You're the for all sports, and we'll catch you on the other side.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernan.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Everybody, this is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning back in with us. This is Fast Break here, live for IE Sports Radio. Your week for all is sports. Woo! D-Locke, it's been a crazy, 15, 60 hours or so. Lots of trades, lots of player movement going on right now. I'm reading reports saying that the Warriors had interest in both Levine and Vucevic. But yeah, but decided to kind of back off of things. So I just for other opportunities. I don't know who they be looking at right now. If they ain't going that route, I think they still might look at Vooch. All things considered, I think you probably move off Andrew Wiggins maybe to match out salary and go from there. But as I was kind of like ahead on the break, I talked about this comment right here before we went to the break here. And I said, one thing I will want Fox's athleticism and stuff like that. I will love that for the Lakers because they sorely had missed that for years. But I'm not saying D-Locke, you got Luka here as one of the better scorers in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's you can go either way, but those 2 years, those 2 younger years by Luka, being at 25, carries more weight for me instead of getting Fox, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But D-Locke,
I agree with you there.
I was kind of circle here. Let's look at the perspective of the Mavericks side of things real quick. AD is a Dallas Maverick. AD, as he did that interview with Shams last week, saying the Lakers need a big, we need a big, and blah 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 blah. Well, now he goes to a place that has 2 bigs, in Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. Derek Lively is out right now with injury. But once he gets back, I think he'll be a great fit alongside AD. D-Lock, short term, how do you see this going for the Mavericks? AD, I'm going to say, well, he kind of got his wish. He gets to play with bigs down in Dallas. But he was hoping to do in the purple and gold. How do you see this fit going with Dallas in their short-term future? How do you see that going on with them?
I think that the Mavericks are 9th right now in the West. So I think that this is a big piece for them. They needed a defender down there. I mean, I think even having Derek Lively, having Gafford, bigs are still dominating down low. You have Kyrie, you have Klay Thompson, and now you got PJ Washington, who they're probably gonna move to the 3, and put AD at that 4. So short term, I think it's a hell of a pickup. I mean, I think right now you do have AD in his prime. You're pairing him with the one Kyrie Irving. I think that's a hell of a pair. You have Klay Thompson, who now can literally go back to being that just strictly shooter, back at that 2 position. Got Max Christie, who come off the bench, have him in rotation with Spencer Dinwiddie. Also got Jaden Hart, and they got Quentin Grimes, who's a defender as well. So they got stronger defensively, and I think that's what the Mavericks have done. Now, in my mind, I think this is preparation for going against the teams that have bigs on the West, right? You're looking at Memphis, who has the guys that they have, Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey. A few of the guys, the Lakers, not Lakers, the Nuggets have the Joker. Timberwolves, who obviously have Gobert, Naj Reid, I think he started yesterday. So you gotta run into some of these teams that have the offense, the defense, and the bigs, and now the Mavs just put them in that area of, hey, now we got the bigs and the defense, and we got the scoring. What we seen from them last year is they had a hell of a lot of scoring last year with Luka and Kyrie. We see how that went. Kyrie would take over the first half, or Luka would take over the first half, and then the opposite. But now you have some defense. And I think that's something that we haven't seen that much in the West. The team that did have a lot of defense, or does, is the Golden State Warriors, and we see what they've done years after years after years in the West, representing the West. So the Mavs are trying to make that big move. Now, it did cost them, to give away one of their star players. But to be honest, short-term goal, like you said, right now, Kyrie is 32. You pair him with Anthony Davis. I think this pair could be pretty solid for some years to come. Now, remember, before Kyrie got moved to Dallas, we were thinking there's a possibility that he could be in LA.
Yeah.
So now you have that pair in Dallas, and we've seen a pair that Dallas has had. They won a championship with Dirk, and having the guards that he had. So maybe Jason Kidd is seeing that same future view with this team. So for me, I think that this made them a stronger team in the West. OKC being who they are, they're going to obviously be tough to beat. The Rockets are playing extremely well, but we see who they have, right? So San Gwen is playing extremely well, but in order, I think, to play with Houston, you're going to need a big down low. And that's what the Mavs have done. They're in the prime right now. They got the pieces. They signed Klay Thompson not to win in just the future. They're trying to win now. So I think moving Luka, which was a very hard decision to make for anybody, but it when you sit and think about it and what they're trying to do and what they got, a lot of people can say clearly, and I want people that say, yeah, well, hell, the Lakers won this trade without a doubt. But at the same time, is there really a loser in this trade? I mean,
that's a fair question.
Yes, I mean, at this point, you have both teams that need. They traded for their needs. right? You went and got the Lakers got their future, who they need to build moving forward. And now the Mavericks are looking at, hey, we're trying to win now. We got Klay Thompson. We got Klay Thompson, Kyrie, and Luka. We could put up 120 points a game. We want to. But what is the defense doing? You made the big trade to go get PJ Washington, I think was a hell of a pickup. But now you can move him back to the 3, put AD at that 4 with your 2 bigs, Derek Lively and Gafford. I mean, this team I think their roster got better in my mind. I think, going to get Anthony Davis now, I think it gives worries to teams like the Clippers, Memphis, who has been playing extremely well, but now they can match up pretty decent against them. Because prior to this, you can look at Memphis and Dallas and say, well, hey, Jared Jackson, Zach Edey is going to dominate down low, but that's not the case anymore. You know what I mean? Now we see it kind of being an even score. So I like Kyrie to play with any guard in the NBA, as we know. So now that you have that, you pair him with a hell of a defender in Anthony Davis, you got something to watch out for. So short term, this team is going to be very scary. But we know what the biggest question mark with Anthony Davis is, can he stay healthy? And that's the biggest thing. So I like it, man, to be honest with you. And one thing I did say, watch out for is we talked about the Bulls, like you said, moving pieces. Watch out for Vooch getting moved. I think the Lakers are a team to watch out for. It is yes, I really think they're gonna need a big. They just traded for Zach Collins. Clearly, I think Vooch is on the move. Where does he go? I think the Lakers may be a team that may call for him.
To talk about Anthony Davis, as always, as Laker fans, we get these big superstar players, as long as you bring us one championship, hey, all things good. And he did that. Now after that, after that championship, the injuries kind of really bit him. And I think, kind of looking at it now, he kind of got unfairly labeled the nickname Street Clothes by one Charles Barkley. And you kind of looking around the league, and some of these other dudes are kind of, been way worse not playing. Looking at you, Joel Embiid and Kawhi and others. So I think, for the basketball fit, he gets to play with 2 bigs in Gafford and Lively. And I know at times AD will probably close at the 5, but for the majority of the time, you got 2 bigs, you circle in and out. And he can play at the 4 position and dominate. And you kind of look around the league and just in that division, with Memphis, Houston, New Orleans, and the Spurs, him matching up against Jaren Jackson, can he get him in foul trouble at times? Can he defend him? Certain points in points in the game. Sengun, like you mentioned, playing very well this year. But you kind of look at that 4 position. Jarabi Smith, he's been out for a good bit. They've been playing other guys at that other 4th spot, like Torrey Eason, for example, and stuff like that. But do you think they can contain AD down low? Spurs. You got Victor there, but that 4th spot is kind of like an eyesore for a good minute. Jeremy Sohan is nice, but you can upgrade that. If we're being real. And he's nice, but you can upgrade that if you're being real.
Yeah.
I know Kyle Kuzma will be on the trade block. That'd be a nice fit right there for the Spurs. Getting Kuzma right there in that 4 spot. Something to look at. But back to AD, I think it's a good fit for the short term. Him and Kyrie playing the pick and roll, especially in the pick and pop as well. That can work as well. Hopefully, Klay Thompson will do his thing as well. Josh Green plays pretty well for them as well. The starting lineup, you mentioned PJ in the starting lineup. I thought about it. I thought maybe more Josh Green being the starting lineup. And may put bring PJ off the bench. And then, like in those small lineups, you got PJ at the 4 and AD at the 5. And the guys, I mentioned, finish out the games or maybe sometimes Spencer Dinwiddie, to finish out with that closeout crew, maybe put Josh Green on the bench unless he's playing hot. That's enough consideration right there. So I like the move. AD gets his wish, playing with some bigs. Like I said, it's not in a purple and gold uniform. And we'll see how things, shake out for them. It sucks that AD gets traded like this, and he wanted to go to the Lakers. But now, we'll see how his career goes with Dallas. Dallas is a nice city. I got friends. You probably got friends live out in Dallas. Very nice city. A lot of folks love it. So I think he'll enjoy there, and not paying the same tax there compared to LA. So we'll see how that works for him, and what happens with the physicals and when they get make their debut and whatnot. But D-Lock, I kind of want to bring this up. Nico Harrison. We talked about Nico Harrison years ago when he got hired by Dallas. He used to work for Nike, and he got hired by Mark Cuban to be the GM of the team. After, I think they had this other guy, I forgot his name, as kind of like a shadow GM, but Luka didn't like the dude, and we talked about that, and they finally got the dude out the paint. Now they got the Nico Harrison guy in for the past few years, and that's the dude that infamously, if y'all saw the video when they made the finals, they were celebrating in the locker room. He's the dude that took the beat away from Luka. And Luka kind of just stared. So that's that guy. As a big report, D-Lock, Luka may have some weight management issues, according to them. And then, I wish I had the video up, but he had the video discussing that defense win championships. That's why he made the move for Anthony Davis. And the Lakers were the only team the only other team that he contacted about trading Luka Doncic away. Who the other team was, if you're talking about defense winning championships, I couldn't tell you who else maybe is out there to do that. Do you got a good guess on that, or who the other team would be they contacted?
I mean,
if you're going by the phrase defense wins championships, Miami for Bam
and Jimmy.
I
mean, I don't see. Well, we are talking about Luka, right? So we're talking about moving Luka. I mean, who are you? Are you calling Memphis? Are you calling Milwaukee? Like, it makes it very. It makes it seem like he has eye on one player, right? That was Anthony Davis. Yeah. I don't see anybody else in the package, because clearly, I mean, AD for Luka, we talked about with the Lakers. The Lakers would love to get Luka and put him in that position. They need that guard position. They just traded D'Angelo Russell, and as good as Austin Reeves is, he's not a franchise changer. So who else are you calling? I mean, I don't think that you're gonna move Luka somewhere where you're definitely not moving him to Denver. So I think that, to be honest, I think that thought process of what he said was more so of a shot towards Luka than teams that he was calling. It's just the fact that he's literally saying that, about Luka not playing any defense. Now, again, to point towards that is they just made a trade for PJ Washington and Kyrie Irving. So if you were talking about defense winning championships, you would have made some defensive trades earlier to pair Luka with other defenders.
Yeah.
All season just went by. We know what Clay is now. Are you signing Clay? If you're talking about defense wins championships. So for me, I think it was more so of a shot towards Luka because clearly how they built their team before that was a hell of a lot of offense. He had a hell of a lot of offense. So if you were literally saying that, I think it's just the fact that the issue that he had with Luka. We've seen that big. I think we've seen the picture. Remember him with Luka drinking, and I think he came in and took Luka's drink. So that I'm pretty sure I seen somebody say on Twitter that picture makes a lot more sense now. So or means more. So to me, I think that that quote of defense win championship was more so a shot towards Luka. But again, kudos. I mean, you went and got one of the best defenders in the league. And I think it was needed. So for me, it's going to be very interesting when these teams play again against each other. I mean, I don't see Anthony Davis having any issues with LA or the front office and anything. But I definitely think this whole trade is going to motivate Luka to have a hell of a game. But I am so interested now to see how Luka and LeBron pairs up. This is going to be something very interesting.
I think just kind of judging by the comments by Nico Harrison has been making, just like if you look at his time as a GM, training for Porzingis, drafting Jalen Brunson, getting Kyrie, and some of the other moves he has made. There's some good moves, and then some moves you kind of question.
Right.
Will Kyrie even be there if they kept Jalen Brunson in line? I mean, in the fold. Now you kind of look at Brunson. Now it's a multiple time All-Star in New York. Couldn't you have this guy on a cheaper deal years ago? That's a fair question. And now, you trade away another homegrown talent in Luka Doncic. And everybody I'm gonna say this. Everybody get up in arms about Mark Cuban. I'm looking to this camera right now. Mark Cuban sold majority of his team a couple years ago to this old white lady. I forgot it. I'll pull her name here in a second. And I looked this up, old white lady up, D-Lock. She's like one of the more richest people in the world, especially on the female side. Let me pull that up right now. I'm pulling up right now. The general is like the CEO is Rick Welts, but I'm trying to pull it up right now. Excuse me, give me just a second. Yeah, Miriam Alderson, old lady, like 79 years old. Like 79 years old, and yeah, she owns the team, and her net worth is like $32 billion. And her son-in-law, Patrick Dumont, he's the team's governor. So that's who's the ownership in Dallas now. Yes, Mark Cuban is still there, but any major decisions go mainly through Patrick Dumont, ladies and gentlemen. Mainly go through him. So, as I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, Nico Harrison will have to sell that to them that this is a great move to do. Now, we'll see what come out of this. Like, D-Lock, we'll see what come out of this, like, what issues been going on behind the scenes. Like I just brought up earlier. Lucas had issue with management before. You know, we kind of seen stories leak out about Luka's weight management in Dallas saying, well, we don't know if he can keep his weight down in the future. Is that the only thing? If that's the only thing y'all can't control, if y'all can't really tell that dude, hey man, can you at least be 240 for the season? If y'all can't do that, what we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what we doing here? Like you coaching your kids. I'm pretty sure you and the coaches, y'all got weight and stuff like that, weight limits for everybody. If those kids can't do that, then what we doing here?
Right. That's why we think, like you said, I think it's more to it than just the weight thing. You know, like you said, front office issues. But I think that we see a different Luka in LA.
I think so.
And it's just, the expectation there. Yeah, I think the expectation, because you're walking into that that building, the facilities, and see the expectation. Now, granted, it's very similar to Dallas, but we talk about championship comparisons. The expectation in LA. So now you have, LeBron leading the way. But again, there's a chance that we'll talk about obviously during the weekend after the show. There's more trades going down, man.
Yeah.
There is. I don't think the Lakers are done. Now, I still think they keep the pieces of Luka and LeBron. But I think a lot of these other pieces are possible moves because although they're trying to set up their future, but they're still trying to win now too.
Yeah.
So, who are they going to bring in? But this is, like you said, this is one of the trades for. I'm gonna be talking about this trade with my grandchildren.
Oh yeah. This is like one of these monumental trades you talk about for years. Like Pau Gasol getting traded. We still talking about that to today.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's eerie that we're talking about the anniversary of that trade. And I see on Twitter people discussing like that the Lakers were sucking and stuff like that. We remind everybody before that Pau Gasol trade going on. Before that trade happened, ladies and gentlemen, the Lakers were like top 2 in the West. Top 2. Kobe, Lamar Odom, and Andrew Bynum really coming to his own. Before Andrew Bynum got hurt. That's why that move got happened. If Andrew Bynum did not get hurt, probably never happened.
Mm-hmm.
If we're being real about that. So now we kind of, on the anniversary of this, now Lakers get another superstar player to go with their other superstar player, and we'll see what happens with that. But before we get out of here, a couple things real quick. Who else gets moved by February the 6th?
I would say Jimmy Butler, Vooch, Austin Reeves. I would say Zion. Chris Paul has to be somebody that gets moved as well. I mean, I just, with the move that they made, I think that the Spurs are possibly going to move. As much as he's there to be their leader, I think Chris Paul is also get moved. I'll throw another person out there. Person or either Wendell Carter or Goga. I think one of these, as much as they're playing extremely well for the Magic, I think a team calls and they're going to have to entertain it because we talk about teams that need bigs, what they're trying to do. I think that Wendell Carter, possibly Goga, is gonna get moved. But those are my main guys. I mean, I think again, like I said, Zion, maybe Brandon Ingram. That's another one. That's mainly the stars. But again, with the trade deadline approaching, hell, there's going to be news. Or again, this happened around like 11:30 last night, 12.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been 24 hours, and it still may be more news that drop in the next 2 or 3 hours. So we just got to stay tuned for it. But be prepared. I also look into another last few names I want to bring up is either Bobby Portis or Brook Lopez. I'm going into the big category because the Lakers are in need. And we'll see how it goes. But there's a couple names that could possibly be moved. I'll say one bold name, even though probably nobody's going to agree with me. I would not be surprised. And we'll probably, if it happens, we'll probably have to, hell, I could be at practice. If this happens, we're going to do a show as soon as it happens. As soon as it happens. LeBron James. If that happens, at this point, not saying he is, but I would not be surprised at this juncture. I'm not after the trade last night, I'm not going to be surprised by anything at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously we don't think he intends. I agree. We understand it. But as you said, this Luka to LA 80 to Dallas was out of left field. So don't sleep on anything at this point.
I think real quick for me, who I see getting moved, Jimmy Butler is the obvious one. And judging by how some of the moves have been, some of these trades have been laid out now, especially these big time superstars. This is the kind of matter of time, like they just finish out the framework of the deal and they'll announce it. And I think, reports saying that Jimmy's been kind of like a headache to everybody. You got to get something done. And Pat, I know he's headstrong and bullheaded, but sometimes you gotta call it quits and just let things go. Wash your hands of it. He brought you success. You went to the finals 2 times. Things happen. Things happen. But Jimmy Butler is the name I look up. Bradley Beal. I think his name on the radar.
Oh yeah.
I think it's another person who should be on the move. Kyle Kuzma is another name to look out for. And along with his teammate Jonas Valanciunas, that's another big man name to look out for, ladies and gentlemen. And Kuzma, Valanciunas as well. Who else could be possibly moved? Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, I brought them up past couple weeks. Look out for their names as well. Cameron Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets. His name been thrown around a lot here for the past couple months. Marcus Smart, his name been thrown out there as well. Jacob Potelli, how you pronounce it? Paco out of Toronto, the big man out there. That's another guy, Jeremy Grant out of Portland. I'm trying to think who else is could be possibly moved. Vucevic we discussed as well. Andrew Wiggins. You could throw over role players like Tim Hardaway as well. And I'm trying to, anybody else I can really think of who's been in talks and stuff like that. Zion, you brought up Zion. It's an interesting name to bring up.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Now it kind of seems like, if Dallas is getting rid of Luka because of his issues, and he took them at least to an NBA Finals, mind you, and a couple Western Conference trips as well. If they trade him after that, Zion, you're not exempt, dude.
Nah, bruh.
You're not exempt. So
Nope.
he's another name to look out for. Somebody put some in the chat. Marcus brought up a point right here. Jimmy refusing to sign an extension when Golden State kills the deal. What do you think about that?
I think it does. I mean, if it will kill the deal. I just think that the Warriors need to be looking at getting another big as well. That's why I said so many bigs possibly being traded. They need a center bad. So, Jimmy refusing it, it definitely does, because that could have been somewhere where that could have been done already. So, for me, Jimmy is definitely not there now. Now that these trades are happening, another team that can possibly move for Jimmy Butler, the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, you're gonna have to give up your young pieces, but you got your De'Aaron Fox, you got your Victor. You bring in another defender in that small forward position, possibly moving from Kendall Johnson, Harrison Barnes. You got your guards, you got your center. You're gonna need that defender on that three guy. We know what the Spurs are about, winning. This is what Jimmy is asking for. He wants to be part of a winning organization, have the expectation. Now, granted, where they are, they have to make some moves. But I think now you put together another three for that group. We talked about him pairing with the Suns, with KD, obviously looking at the Golden State. But what situation probably looks best if Jimmy is the one that's controlling where he goes?
I mean, what Marcus brought up here, I'm reading the article right now from Bleacher Report. Per Brian Windhorst, Butler has told the Warriors that he's unwilling to sign an extension with them, thus ending trade talks between two teams for now, for the two teams for now. So I know he said they want to go to Memphis, but I mean, why do you think he's not willing to sign an extension though with Golden State though? That you play all-time play Steph Curry, y'all around the same age. Help me on this one. Like,
I mean, maybe he doesn't see him and Draymond being a good pair. I think the Draymond thing is obviously the history that Draymond has, the expectation that they have, who leads that crew. Jimmy probably is not going to be. I think he can fit there, but I think the Draymond thing is what raises my eyebrows. Maybe it's, hey, you know what? I ain't really rocking with being on the same team as Draymond, how he plays. But also he probably sees them past their prime. Maybe he wants to be in the mode where he's winning now. But if he's let's look at it. Like, if he is shooting down the Golden State Warriors, then what teams is he actually going to entertain? He already said he didn't want to go to Memphis, right?
Yeah.
So where are we looking at? Are we possibly looking at the Denver Nuggets? We've seen what the Lakers did. Is that a possibility? Timberwolves, that's out. Phoenix, as you said, possibility. Mavericks, no. Kings, no. Thunder, no. So the list is starting to get pretty short, where he's going. Now, I think the longer this lingers, somebody's going to get Jimmy for a good deal. The longer this goes. The Pacers, no. Again, I'm not opposed to seeing him in Milwaukee. That's a team. We talked about Chris Middleton in that situation. But again, if Jimmy's the one that's having the final say in this, Golden State could have been the best situation.
Yeah.
And that just got shot down. So where are you going? Not going to Boston. New York, I don't think so. Cleveland, I don't think that as well. Orlando, we talked about that as a possible move. But the list is getting short, man. I mean, I'm looking at it, and Phoenix, like I said, if I had to pick right now, knowing that he just shot down this Warriors situation, had to pick by 3 or 4 teams, we're probably looking at Phoenix, Orlando, Milwaukee, and I would say Denver. At this point, he doesn't want to be at these teams that are contending with Golden State and Memphis. Hell, Boston, they damn sure ain't trying to make no move for him. So where does he land? So like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see how this play out because clearly he has some type of control, and who knows, man? I mean, I think him and Pat Riley got to figure this out.
Yeah.
This has to be done. And I don't think, to be honest with y'all, I think Jimmy is still in his prime. I think he still has a lot left in the tank. That's just my thought process. It's just, we know how Jimmy is when he doesn't want to do something clearly. I mean, the trade is about to go through and he's unwilling to sign a deal. So how do you move from this? And does Pat Riley say, well, hell, we going to move you somewhere regardless?
I'm looking at this comment right here by the heel known for. He said, was Wiggins for Jimmy the offer? If I had to guess that, and nobody put the framework of the trade yet, what's offered from Golden State, but I had to guess Wiggins probably will be involved. Maybe the Brandon guy, never guard, maybe a first round pick as well. If I had to guess what the framework of the deal is, I don't think Miami will take back Draymond in that contract. But you get Wiggins and his contract, not bad. Get a nice young player and a first round pick out of it, maybe a couple seconds for Butler and maybe somebody else you can try to maybe get rid of. I think they'll go a long way as well. And all that stuff. Brownie already loving the look deal. and yeah, and Jimmy turned down to play with Steph is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If I was him, make the deal, sign a year or 2 extension. Curry is probably gonna ride out the last remaining years and going to say, see how it goes. Go in the offseason, maybe try and add somebody else and go about that way. But seem like you mentioned before we got the air, like some deals gonna be happening. And this Butler deal seems like it's almost done deal, but Butler, for reasons, is declining to do an extension.
Mm-hmm.
And like we talked about earlier in the show, like, we just talked about not too long ago, like, Pat Riley, hey, man, you got to do something. Because it seems like the way things are going, some of the teammates don't want Butler back. So I hope Jimmy reconsiders.
Yeah.
But, if he didn't want to be in California and pay the taxes, maybe I understand that. Because being in Florida for the past few years and not paying that state tax and stuff like that, and then you got to go to the West Coast and San Francisco and pay the high state tax in California and all that other stuff, taking a lot of stuff out of your check. I understand that. I understand that. But you don't want to be in Miami no more, dog. That's the thing.
And where are you trying to go?
And
Clearly.
where do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, 'cause clearly, like I said, you like I said, you to not want to play with Steph Curry. I mean, clearly, there's a place that you have your eye on. I don't know if it happens, but for you to say I don't want to play with Steph Curry, you have a place in mind where you want to go. Now, it may have not been said, but this clearly right here says, listen, I don't want to go to Golden State and play with Steph and Draymond. What other player? I mean, what other prize to get traded? What other player would you want to play with? Unless it's other, obviously, like I said, you got other players up there that you would love to play with. But if you say I'm unwilling to sign a deal to play with Steph Curry, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how things go. Like I said, Jimmy declining. I think he's trying to make that final push for Phoenix. But I think Bradley's bill no trade clause is kind of going to hold things up. And I think a lot of people kind of forget about that, but Bradley Beal's no trade clause is going to hold things up. And I don't think he's going to want to be moved again, unless it's like a place is too good to pass up. But I think he's content being in Phoenix, just chilling for the most part. He's out of DC. Now it's out, more comfortable place out in Phoenix. And now, playing for, good organization for the most part with Booker and KD. I think he doesn't get moved, in my humble opinion. And it seems like the news is like keep on happening and whatnot. But D-Lock, before we get out of here, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I mean, this is what I love about the NBA in this part of the season. Trade deadline, we start seeing these shocking things. This makes you want to go ahead and get on 2K and update this roster, start playing with the Spurs, to be honest with you. So it's very interesting. I want to see what happens with Jimmy now. He's, like you said, he's up on deck. I think it's him. And also, ladies and gentlemen, do not be surprised by who else get moved. I mean, just like I said, less than 24 hours ago, we've seen Luka, AD get traded. At this point, there's nobody that's not tradable after seeing that. Anything could happen. Now, obviously, there are certain people that we see that more likely won't. But to see this, yeah, it just tells you that this trade deadline is coming up. We're going to see a hell of a lot more moves. I expect the Lakers to continue making a move. We'll go from there. I mean, like I said, if I had to take one shot at a team that Denver may go to outside of possibly Phoenix, I would say Denver.
And that's our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us. Like I said, trade deadline is 4 days from now. We'll see how the schedules align, and we'll probably do like a trade deadline special. We'll see. We'll see on the scope of everything, how everything shakes out. Moves will happen. So we'll see what happens with the rest happen within the rest of the week. Going forward, next 4 days. Like I said, we dropped the names, so be on the lookout for those names and all that good stuff. But D-Lock, how can people find you on social media?
You guys find me at Black-813 on Twitter. I will be doing a lot of retweeting, obviously, on Shams. Talk about this news, man. See what's next, and go from there. Let know they can find you on the show's page.
You can find the show's page right here at Fast Break IESR. That's Fast Break IESR. Also, follow IE Sports Radio on all your social media feeds: X, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Where you can find your audio feeds, you can find us there, and video as well. Instagram as well. You can find me on Twitter /X at Spawn4288. That's Spawn4288. Been done a lot of retweeting, a lot of tweeting for the main account as well. So do follow us there on these social media sites. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, until next week, we'll talk about the fallout for trade deadline, college basketball, and we can talk about that. But we'll dive into that next week. So until then, we out. See y'all later.